Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together for the one and only Dr. William Amzallag.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, my name is William Amzallag, and I am Generation Young. Now, we want to hype a little. We're going to repeat together. And when I say 3, 2, 1, you will say Generation Young, and I will explain you why. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. So, we're going to spend some time together and see with you and share with you the science behind Jeunesse concept, you see? And why Jeunesse is so successful? Tell me, why? Well, there is many reasons, but one of the reasons which is very important is because we are sharing together a culture. And this is maybe the most important part of Jeunesse. We are all sharing a culture called Generation Young. I will come back to that on more detail later. The first thing that I want to see with you is why are we aging? See, we thought until recently that aging was the result of accumulating years, accumulating birthday. So at the age of 60, we are officially retired. At the age of 70, we are officially an old person. And guess what? At the age of 80, we are nothing. No classification for people at 80. And this is the old way to look at aging. Today, we know that aging is inside our cells, inside our DNA. That's what happened inside our DNA. That's where we are aging. How we are aging. The first thing is, we receive a lot of damage, from outside. And you can see infection, UV, poor nutrition, smoking and all that. That's damage our DNA, not 1 time a day, not 2 times a day, but almost 200,000 times a day. And that's one big part of DNA damage. And then we damage our DNA from inside. And from inside, the first thing is oxidation. Oxidation is killing us every day. Not only oxidation, but also silent inflammation. Inflammation is something normal, but too much inflammation can kill us. And the third thing is what we call glycation. Glycation, and when you eat too much sugar, it's glue our protein, which cannot work anymore properly. And unfortunately, we all eat sugar. We all eat too much sugar. And that's create DNA damage. But even, if we can provide correction of that, we still have a second way to age, which is what we call telomere shortening. Have you heard about telomeres? Yes. Telomeres are the end of the chromosome, the end of the DNA, the yellow cap that you can see here. And it's supposed to protect the DNA against damage. Unfortunately, at each division, what happened? This cap shorten, and shorten. The cells divide all the time. And after 50 to 70 division, there is no more cap. Then there is no more, there is no more protection of the cells. And what happened? The cells stop to divide. The cell suicide. We call it apoptosis. And that's a second reason to age, because we are losing a lot of cells through that. And on top of that, we have a third reason to age, which is our stem cells pool. Have you heard about stem cells? I'm sure yes. Yes? Yes? Yes. Thank you. Now, stem cells are very, very important for our body, because they are magical cells which will replace whatever we want to replace. So we need a stock of healthy, fresh stem cells all the time in our body. Unfortunately, those stem cells, they have DNA and they have telomeres. And like the other cells, they will die slowly. So the goal is to keep our pool of stem cells as healthy as possible. So we have 3 reasons to age: DNA damage, telomere shortening, and our stem cell pool, which is shrinking. And that is very important for you to understand that, because that will be based on that we will create and design product, which will be in coherence with with this concept. Now let's go back to Jeunesse. Why we are Generation Young? Why? And it's not what we call Generation Y. It's Generation Young. I am 75. I am Generation Young. You are 20. You are 21. You are Generation Young. You are 43. You are Generation Young. We don't care about your chronological age. And you know why? Because this generation is it's a new way of life, a new way of aging based on solid scientific evidence. So I can talk to you hours about those solid scientific evidence, but it's boring, let's face it. So let's go back to what do we need, you and me together in life, to have a better life, to have increasing our longevity in good health. The first thing that we all want, that's regardless of our age, the first thing that we want is to look young as long as possible. Now, do you agree? Do you agree with the fact that we want to look young, but as long as possible? So I ask people, say, do you want to look young forever? Which means, do you want to be immortal? Almost 50% say, no, I don't want to be immortal. And I said, okay, you don't want to be immortal? So you want to die tomorrow? They say, no, we don't want to die tomorrow. Do you want to die after tomorrow? I say, no. So I leave the door open for every one of you. As long as possible. It's up to you. So we want to look young as long as possible, but that's not enough in life. Most of us, we want to think young as long as possible, which means that we don't want to forget where we put our key. We don't want to forget where the name of our children, and we don't want to forget the name of our wife, otherwise she will kill us. You agree? So basically, we don't want to get Alzheimer. And that's what we want to achieve, to look young and to think young. But there is a third thing that we need, all of us. You know what? We need to love young as long as possible. Means we want to have feelings for others. We want the other to have feeling for us. We want to have healthy relationship. So that's what is Generation Young. A generation which believe that science today can do much more than just saving life or treating diseases. And that is Generation Young. That's what we want to do with Jeunesse. You agree? So now that we have a philosophy, which is concrete, which is solid, which is based on evidence, we have to have a plan, action plan. And the action plan is called Y.E.S, the Use Enhancement System. This is how we are going to apply our philosophy. And it's based on what? Well, all our use enhancement system is based on one thing: DNA repair. Not DNA damage, it's too difficult. DNA repair. Why? Let me explain you. When cells divide millions of times. They divide all the time. But when a cell divides, the DNA divides also. Now, if the DNA is damaged, what happened? The DNA carry all our genes. And the genes are our secret codes to manufacture protein, and we are proteins. So when DNA is damaged, some codes will be missing. And if some codes are missing, we cannot manufacture probably some very important protein, and that will lead to premature aging and to some chronic diseases. See? And that is very, very important to know that. Now, fortunately, in our system, in our body, we have what we call a maintenance service, a DNA maintenance service, which is fantastic because it will come and repair DNA within a second. So, why do we need Jeunesse if we have a system which can repair immediately DNA? Well, it can repair it until the age of 35, 40. At this time, the DNA repair maintenance is not as fast as before. And that's where we go, Jeunesse. We want to help our maintenance service to be as perfect, as fast as possible. This is the use enhancement system. Based on that, we build a line of product. Of course, there is many products here. In 30 minutes, I will not be able to do everything, but if you want to know more, you go to Jeunesse Longevity TV, and you have all the episodes one by one about each product. New ones are coming, of course, all the time. So let's start basically by the one that you know the best, Reserve. Everybody is eating Reserve here? Yes? Can I see that? Thank you. Now, I call it the power of Reserve, and I will explain you why. Reserve is a combination of approximately nine major antioxidants. And by being antioxidant, it will help to repair DNA because the major damage to DNA is oxidation. Then we can consider Reserve as a good DNA repair helping maintenance service. But it's not enough. Reserve have a special benefit, and I will explain you why. Do you know that Reserve can improve our longevity, regardless of the oxidation or antioxidation? Why? Do you know that if we eat less, we can live longer? Do you know that? If we eat less in terms of calorie, if we eat 40% less, we can live 30% longer. And this is scientific fact. Okay? The point is why. Why, by eating less, we can live longer? We have to go back to our genes. We have 30,000 genes, basically, but only 5% are working full-time. Most of the other are sleeping, we say desactivated or repressed. Some of our genes are sleeping all our life. They will never be activated unless there is a danger. If there is a danger, some very special gene will suddenly wake up. We call them survival genes because they are here to protect our species. So, you know, eating less or much less, eating 40% less, is starving is like a danger. So what happened immediately is those survival genes wake up. We call them sirtuin genes, and they produce what we call sirtuin enzyme, which first come to protect the DNA. See, stability of the DNA also suppresses the formation of abnormal DNA, but they do much more than that. I'm not going to go to all that, but you can see that the sirtuin are acting on many, many, many systems in our body. To make a story short, when the sirtuin are activated, you feel like Superman. Everything is boosted. The problem that we have is that starving is not practical. We cannot ask everybody to eat 40% less all our life. This is why scientists go back to nature and try to find an ingredient which can mimic calorie restriction without starving. And they find it in the red wine. In the red wine, there is a family of chemicals called the polyphenol. And if you take the skin of the red grape, you extract a very, very special ingredient called resveratrol. Have you heard about resveratrol? Yes. Okay, and when you give resveratrol, you mimic calorie restriction, you increase the sirtuin genes, and then you have all the benefit of sirtuin gene activation. And that is the most important to know about reserve. If you want to know more, go to Jeunesse Longevity TV and you will have all the health benefit. The second product is AMPM. You have here AMPM, no? No. So I will be short on AMPM. AMPM have been designed by Dr. G.M. Papa, and the goal and the target of these two products is to activate the good genes in our body and to deactivate the bad gene. I'm making it short. Why? Why he did two products? Well, because we know that during the day, we do things different than the night. It seems to be for you obvious that it's different, the day and the night. But in our body, everything is different. All the day, what we do, we are spending energy. And our hormones are released on behalf of that, means doing that. And during the night, we are repairing. And then the hormone that we are releasing during the night are done to repair. So the goal of these two products is to work in accordance with chronobiology. And this is how AMPM become very famous. During the day, we are energized, and during the evening, they help us to sleep and to recuperate. The third product is Finity. And I'm sure we have it here and maybe or in Singapore. No, in one of the two countries we have it. Is it correct? Okay, let's talk a little because the story of Finity is fantastic. As I told you that telomeres are shortening and shortening regardless of what we do. But Elizabeth Blackburn, who got Nobel Prize, she's from Australia, by the way, she finds something very, very surprising. She finds out that in the spermatozoid, I'm sorry, I think I made a mistake here. Go back here. Yes. She finds out, are we here? Yes, here. She finds out that in the spermatozoid and the ovula, which are the cells which are for reproduction, the telomere never shorten. And this is normal. This is normal because if you mixed telomeres from an old man and telomere from a young woman, The telomere of the old man will be like that. The telomere of the young woman will be like that. But the mixed will do a short telomeres for the baby, and because of the baby are doing million of division during the 9 months, it will not survive. So nature anticipated that and create something that the telomeres of these two cells never shorten. And she said, why not in all our 60 trillion cells? By the way, we have the possibility, the opportunity to get something in our cells which will lengthen our telomeres. We call it telomere activator, telomerase activator. It's a special ingredient that we find in China, which have the ability to increase an enzyme called telomerase. And when we increase that, when we release this telomerase, the telomere suddenly start to re-lengthen. You see, so by doing that, we can reverse the division. The cells division will start to work again. And infinity, we get this telomerase activator called TA65. When we get it, what happened? The telomere gene is activated and telomerase can work. And this is what happened. When the telomerase work, it will rebuild the telomere brick by brick. So what happened when we start to use Finity, 20 minutes after we started to use it, the product go inside the cell and start the job. Well, cell by cell. It's not overnight, but this is what happens cell by cell. Suddenly the telomere start to re-lengthen and re-lengthen. And this is the second product which is in coherence of what we do. So we have other products that you can see in Jeunesse Longevity TV. Today I have only 7 minutes to finish with you. I want to tell you about the last things, which is stem cells. But in order to go to stem cells, we will go to what we call the Luminous line. As you know, this line has been designed by Dr. Nathan Newman. Dr. Nathan Newman, for the one who doesn't know him, is a dermatologist and a plastic surgeon. He lives and practices in Beverly Hills, California, where all the stars live. He became very famous by his technique called the stem cell lift. And that is a medical procedure where he takes the stem cells from the fat, and he re-injects these stem cells on the face, and he gets fantastic result. But that's not exactly why I'm going to talk about Dr. Newman. Dr. Newman create a product for us. He was used to give this product to the patient. And one day, Randy was in his office, and he thought that this little product, this little vial that he has, was full of stem cells. And he said, my God, if we have stem cells in a bottle, we can do a fortune with that. Unfortunately, the bad news is that, and I want you to remember, that in the serum, which is what we're going to talk about, there is no stem cells. Now, maybe there is no stem cells, but the good news is that everything in this stem cells cannot survive on the skin because they are fresh cells. And that's why there is no stem cells in any bottles. But the good news is that everything in this bottle, in this serum, is produced by stem cells. And I want to spend 4 or 5 minutes with you to make you understanding how this is good and why it is good. Dr. Newman have a database, a base of stem cells that he have in his lab. And what he do, he takes some stem cells and he put them in what we call a gel media, a nutritional environment, which is look like in our body. And he let the stem cell there for 1 week. Now, the stem cells have one benefit. When they are together, they multiply like rabbit. So during 1 week, these stem cells will multiply and multiply and multiply. But that's not so important for us. The important for us is during this time, they will release molecules inside the media, the gel. Now, molecules are different from fresh cells. Molecules are neutral. They can survive on the skin. So for 1 week, the gel is going to be filled with thousands and thousands of molecules. Which are they, those molecules? You know, we call them growth factors. We call them soluble factors. We call them peptide. You know, all depend on the country or whatever you want. Now, what are they? Why they are so good? You see, first, just to tell you, after 1 week, he filter the gel and he take out the stem cells. He doesn't need any more. He use only those molecules in the media. And basically, the media is a serum. So what are those growth factors? Why they are so good? You know, soluble factors are what we call signaling factors, signaling molecules. Now, it is very important for you to understand what means signaling. Signaling is very special molecule which take an order and send it to the cells. It's a signal that they give to the cell, and the cell has to obey. The cell has to do the job if the molecule asks them to do the job. We have neurotransmitter. We have many, many different signaling molecules in the body. So those growth factors are basically signaling molecules. And what they do? Well, they first enter in the skin, which is quite difficult to enter inside the cell skin, and they ask the skin, please repair, please maintain, please refresh. And that's what they do. But not only that, and that's where we are quite unique in the market. Because the signal will amplify, and the signal will go to the other cells and say to the other cells in the epidermis, just here, he said, please do the same. And then the signal will go deep. Where is deep? It's in the dermis. That's where the signal goes, not the product, the signal. The signal go to the dermis where the business is, because the wrinkles and all the problem that we have come because we don't have enough elastin, we don't have enough collagen. And then the signal said, please synthesize elastin, synthesize collagen. This is why we have such good benefit with the serum. And I will just stay on the serum. I hope you understand how the serum works now. Do you understand it? Thank you. So, let's talk very, very quickly about longevity. Do you know the world record of longevity? The world record is 122 years for the moment, and it has been held by a lady called Jeanne Calment. She died at the age of 120 in 1997. Now, what this lady has special? You know what she has special? Nothing. She is not special. Means she smoked until the age of, she smoked until the age of 110. You see? She's like an ordinary woman. So I say to myself, if this lady can live until the age of 122, being normal, why not us? Why not you? Do you agree? You agree? So it is possible to live until the age of 122, at least, because somebody did it. Somebody did it and didn't do anything special for that. And that's become my creed. You know, for me, any death occurring before the age of 122 years should be considered as a premature death. Do you agree? Let's do that. Let's consider our target in Jeunesse 122 years. Okay? So in my book, I talk about immortality because there is people who can live a lot. Lobsters can live longer because they have full telomere lengths. They die because of infection of the shell. Koi fish can live a lot. A turtle can live much more. They all can live much more than us. Jellyfish can live thousands of years. Why not us? Well, maybe one day we will find why. So yes, immortality can be around the corner, and that is important to understand. There is many things which are considered as increasing longevity and anti-aging revolution, like the influence of the food on our genes, and the food supplement of our gene is called nutrigenomic. Stem cells are becoming a new revolution. We can do a lot of things different with stem cells. Also, we have we go fast here. We have extremely good future with nano medicine. A nano level is very, very, very small. Means nano medicine has become now almost normal. It will come, and what we can do is treating these diseases at the molecular level, and that's what can do nanomedicine. We get information technology, which almost now we can reach the power of the brain. We just have a difference. The brain has more plasticity, and we have cognitive science, which is coming. So for more information on that, you go to Jeunesse Longevity or G-Life Science. And let me finish by some conclusions which are quite interesting. Do you know that every day we can live 6 hours more? 6 hours more every day. And we don't know exactly why, but we know that we can live every day 6 hours more. And that is a good news. Now, can we do better with Jeunesse? Can we do 6 hours more in good health? Yes, we can. I will explain you how we can do that. Already with the Nobel Prize, the Telomere Nobel Prize, I think, in my opinion, that we get 20 more years with that. And 20 more is a good thing. Look, in 20 years, what will happen? We will have a new Nobel Prize, which will give us 20 more years, and that is 40. That's how science progresses. And 20 years after, we will have another Nobel Prize, who will give us 20 more years. And that's what we want to Jeunesse. We want to be a long-life company. We want Jeunesse to be immortal. And we want Jeunesse to follow all the medical or the science progress in order to give us the 20 more years that we need all the time to wait for the next science. So I have a deal with you. I decide to retire. I'm 75 today, and I want to invite you to my retirement party. Do you agree? Yes? You will come? So you will be invited to my retirement party here in Kuala Lumpur in October 30, 2063. You agree? I will be 122, and I will finally retire. My name is William Amzallag, and I am Generation Young. Thank you very much.